Hi all, do you know your mindset could be your biggest strength in interviews? How can understanding your own personality dynamics can give you a real edge at workplaces, and what's that one thing you should start doing today to become a better leader tomorrow, no matter your job title? Hi all, welcome to Let's Hear It from Powered by My Job Factory. I am your host Ajay Alankar, and this is the podcast wherein we are really going to get candid with top industry leaders, HR heads, and CEOs who are working very hard to shape and reshape today's dynamic work environment. Uh, Viewers, today's episode is special. We are bridging continents. I am joining you here from Pune, India, and our guest, Dr. Frank Gonzalez, is speaking to us all the way from Texas, USA. Dr. Frank is a globally respected executive leadership coach, DI expert, and a dynamic speaker who has transformed teams and workplaces around the world. With over 20 years of experience across industries from healthcare to finance to education, he is also a faculty member at Cornell University and author of two LinkedIn learning courses. So, viewers, if you are a job seeker planning to make your next career move or an employee working very hard to build successful teams, this is the podcast for you. So, without wasting a single second, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's hear it from Dr. Frank Gonzalez. Dr. Frank, frankly speaking, thank you so much for accepting my request to attend this podcast. We are thrilled to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So without wasting a single second, I come to the first point. I come straight to the point. As a recruiter myself, I find it very difficult to poach candidates from different industries, from different sectors. Now, since you have worked with so many industries, I really want to know, is it really hard to switch industries, or are job seekers overthinking about it? So, and again, secondly, what's that one big mistake job seekers are making while trying to switch industries?
Very powerful question, my friend. Let me start with the one first and then back in. You have to stop trying to fit in fast. I'm going to say that again. You have to stop trying to fit in fast. Learn the language, earn the trust, tailor yourself to the value without losing your value. I think one of the things that you and I can agree on is that throughout any of our career, even if you're in the same industry, you tend to lose the values of who you are sometimes by trying to fit in too fast. So can you switch industries? Absolutely. But if you can answer two questions at the end of every day, every week, every quarter, every year, during any time in any industry, what aligned with my values that I'm doing and what did not align with my values? Because as you and I both know, as you emerge in leadership, whether it be personal or positional leadership, if you lose your values, you lose yourself.
That's it.
But if you hold your values, you absolutely will be able to transcend those values into any industry. Now, are you going to be told no plenty of times? Absolutely, but that's just a repurposed. So the theme around this is skills transfer, absolutely.
Yes.
Mindsets do too, but if you're not in the right mindset, no, there isn't anything for you. And the framework that I can suggest, and I'd love your thoughts on it, is just three simple C words: curiosity, context, and contribution. So absolutely, you bring curiosity, you ask questions, you get the context, you learn the language of the organization or function that you're trying to do, and then you figure out what your contribution, but with value, really is. What do you think, my friend? Let me put that on you. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Value, yes, it is one of the most important, because if you lose value, you lose your inner self, you lose your candidature. So that's one very important thing I have learned today from you, and it's definitely being very important and a learning lessons for job seekers who are watching this podcast. I quickly move on to the next question, Frank. Inclusion is a big thing. Inclusion is such a big thing and such a big focus now, and it's happening. So I want to know from your point of view, what are those one or two personality traits that truly make someone stand out in a diverse team setting?
I like to geek out over research. So let me start with the research, and then
Yes,
I will get into the practical everyday. If you go back to the research on global leadership, and there's wonderful ongoing research by Project Globe. So Hofstede's work looks at a number of different geographical areas across the world. Three behaviors come up all the time across cultures: participation, transformation, and contribution. Those three behaviors. But now they show up differently, of course, depending on gender or other biases, cultural norms, the communication, other contexts that we talked about, those things. But I think the easiest behavior in practicality every day that's worked for me is go beyond your name and your job title. Go beneath the surface. And as a positional or personal leader, you always have to ask your team, what's missing? What's missing? What am I missing? Who's not here? Tell me more. That curiosity piece that I talked about earlier. And a good framework around that can be RISE, RISE. Respect,
wow,
inquiry or inquisition, right? Inquiry, self-awareness, and I'm going to come back to self-awareness, and empathy. So those four things: respect, inquiry, self-awareness, and empathy. Self-awareness, in my opinion, is never something you can do by yourself. You do not get self-awareness from just personal reflection, reading a book, or thinking about to yourself. You get self-awareness from having conversations with direct reports, with peers, with your leaders, maybe even your spouse, your partner, your family, your friends.
right.
They will be the ones to tell you where you have gaps. And
Right,
through
right.
gaps,
Yeah.
if you can then reflect and drive empathy and really show that you're working on something, then you will absolutely drive inclusion across culture. And that just comes down to culture humility, those two words: culture humility, not cultural awareness, not culture sensitivity, not EQ, not emotional intelligence, not reading the room. Humility. That is truly showing up with the eagerness to learn and apply. The framework around RISE, I think, is really, really important. What are your thoughts?
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I actually wanted to know from your point of view. I quickly move on to the next question. My next question is not on freshers. I'm going to ask you on freshers also, but on early career professionals. You have led global initiatives and worked very hard on organizational performances also. So what's that one performance habit you believe every early career professional should start building from today onwards?
Oh gosh, there's so much there. I will. Okay, I won't do the
One very
research.
important. I know we
I'll
have.
get right into it. I'll get right into it, my friend. Build the self-management muscle. Self-management, not self-awareness. Self-management. That has been my personal performance habit that I always try to work on. And do I fall off of it? Absolutely. I want to be very clear about that. I am absolutely not
I
perfect.
appreciate it.
My wife will tell you I am not perfect. That's for sure. And even my son will give me feedback. But
Great.
what I mean by that self-management is clarity. Clarity will always beat busyness. It will always beat busyness. It's not about how busy I am, how many meetings I have, how many emails I can answer, how many phone calls, how many KPIs, how many decks, how many conversations I can have. You have to learn to manage your own energy. And that is a skill management that I am always working on. And it's really about time, right? The value of time. And it's a currency in this world that is powerful, but it's something you will never get back. You will never get back time.
Right.
So manage your time, manage your energy, and that performance habit will absolutely drive value. And there is, I lied, I will say there is research behind that it creates a bit of an allure, this need that if you're always around and always answering, you're quick, yes, you will be respected, but will you be valued? Maybe not,
That's
because you're always around. And I'm not giving advice like don't be around. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to balance the value and your presence that
and
you
the presence.
contribute, right?
Great, such an insightful answer, Frank. Uh, Quickly moving on to the next question is on freshers, but I have got a different freshers. I've been asking questions on freshers to my previous guests also because I do meet a lot of freshers and I see a lot of confusion areas in them. But many freshers feel that they don't have enough to lead. This typically, I have seen freshers who want to take leadership positions. So how can a young professional still lead without experience or still lead without any authority? I know
That
it's a
part of
tricky
leadership,
question.
that part of leadership, and it's hard. It is hard. So
It's hard.
I want to pause and say, you are not alone. For those that are watching and listening, you're not alone. It is hard. You're not alone. That self-leadership starts when you take responsibility for your outcomes and not just tasks,
Correct.
not just the task.
Yes.
Influence does not require a title, it requires trust. So you
Correct.
have to figure out what is the trust that you build. You absolutely and ask friends. Do a 360. Ask with your friends, your coworkers, mentors, teachers, family members, extended family members, whoever it is. If you are in not in the professional, but if you're growing in the professional, somebody that you trust in the workplace. Hey, what is it about me that you trust? That's a very tangible thing.
Thanks.
And
Yes.
grow that trust. Because that is, we started off with that very first question,
Right.
cross functional, cross
Cross
industry.
cross industry.
Trust is cross industry, it is cross functional. And one way you can do it, I always love frameworks. So you know that was coming.
Right.
Frameworks, lead, listen, evaluate, ask great questions, deliver the value. Deliver the value. You have to be able to take risks, but that framework I think will help is again, listen, evaluate, ask questions, then deliver the value, but all through trust, all through trust. And you, no matter what you label yourself as an emerging or young professional, you absolutely will build authority by the contributions you build. But don't start with contributions. Right? I didn't start with deliver results
Right.
first.
Right.
I
Great.
said the first three. All right. So and that will absolutely give you the authority that you need is because through trust. Leaders and CEOs, C-suite all the way down, it's about who they trust first. And that trust is then who they let in, and then they start to, see their results and bring them along. And trust is also something that just takes time, but you can fast track that time by always leading with trust. Yeah.
Great. Such an amazing answer. Moving on to the next question is a bit difficult question for myself because I found this question and this topic very difficult. This question is basically on emotional intelligence. Now, what is the role of emotional intelligence in interviews in getting hired and not only getting hired but becoming successful at work today? And how can job seekers actually showcase their emotional intelligence or even inclusive behavior as a matter of fact in job interviews? This is one area I'm lagging behind, and I really want to have your insights on this.
There's a lot of insights that I'm gonna try to consolidate.
Yes.
I will try to consolidate. The upfront advice that the things that I can share is that you have to share moments and project the vulnerability first. So you have to share moments that make you feel seen, value, and heard. And in an interview, when a recruiter, an interviewer, or a hiring manager, and so because you said more of around the interviews, when they start up and say, "How are you doing?" you have to expand beyond, "I'm great, I'm fine."
Right.
We have to get back to small talk. Small talk is not always a cross cultural. I understand that. For some people, it's culturally, it's get right to business. For others, it's not. You then balance the two.
Right.
It's something about how you feel, something that you see, hear, use your senses. I'm having a great day. Ajay, thank you for asking. Outside is really sunny. How about you?
Right.
I'm feeling really great today. I had a really great walk and feel energized. What about you? Oh, I hear the birds chirping outside. I just wrote something down, or just heard a great quote. I heard a really great song. I had a really great weekend. You have to share something about yourself. And then, if you feel uncomfortable, that's the time to put it back on the other person and then center them. That shows emotional intelligence. And listen and listen. And I appreciate you saying it's not always comfortable, even for yourself, but it's felt through your stories,
At times, right?
right? It's still around inclusion and belonging. Emotional intelligence is felt through stories. And we all cross-culturally know how to tell a story or listen to stories. And again, there's a great framework that I can provide is STAR, STAR. So STAR, right, is still situation, task, the action, and then the result. But STAR with an E,
Yes.
empathy. I still go back to the empathy, the positivity. Empathy is really going, again, beneath the surface. So STAR with an E in your interviews. And I promise, as empathy is not sympathy, empathy is truly feeling someone else's experience. And again, if it's uncomfortable, it is uncomfortable for a lot of us. Yeah, emotional intelligence is not something that we grow up with,
It's a difficult,
myself included.
very well summed up. I know it's a big topic actually. Moving on to the next question is on again, diversity and inclusion. Frank, you have been working across organization. Is D and I D is D E and I only writings on the walls of their website? Do they really walk the talk? And what are some red flags you notice in organization when assessing whether they are truly diverse or inclusive or not?
There are, and the easiest way to spot that is there are a lot of people that we get excited. We like maturity models, frameworks, and we say, I want the next best thing. My organization is here. I want them to be at a 3 or a 4 or 5 out of 5 or out of 4. But that's the behavioral piece. But structurally, are they really trying to at least mature towards the aspirations that they're talking about? The easiest question for seasoned or emerging leaders, so it doesn't matter, is ask a simple question is, can you share a recent decision that reflected your values? Can you share a recent decision that reflected your values? Because what that will show you is whether you're showing flags or value systems, or you're talking about your representation or systems, it will actually show the structural policies and behaviors that are behind the scenes that are either supporting or detrimental. If I may, my friend, I want to share just one quick story. I did this as a consultant interviewing an organization to see if I was going to do work for them. And sometimes consultants get a little bit more of the information because you're not a full-time employee, you're not being hired, they do not see you again, that kind of thing. And I asked that simple question, well, can you show me some policies or decisions, the outputs of those decisions based on these values that you're talking about? You want to be inclusive, you want to be great, you want to make sure everybody feels seen, valued, heard. So can you share with me some of those examples? And this was the interview of a chief diversity officer of a very large organization.
I see.
Nothing. The only thing that they can share with me is that we went to conferences, there was a great time, we've got a lot of this. And I said, no. Can you show me any policies that encourage that? You talk about your value about parents. What kind of policies do you have that support parenting? What kind of policies do you have on this? Nothing, right? And those are red flags. Those are red flags, not to be taken lightly.
Frank, you are so filled with energy and positivity. Now, I have a question which I need an answer from you, not from the HR point of view, but from a human being point of view, because I meet many job seekers who find it difficult to stay motivated when they are rejected, when rejections come their way during interviews or during career growth. So, how to handle this? How can job seekers stay motivated when they are rejected?
I'm gonna sound, it's gonna be a repeat, but you're not alone. So I want to point right here, and for you that are listening and watching, you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay? So please, I want to validate you. You're not alone. Here's some simple advice. You're not alone, so keep a wins list. Very often a win, W-I-N-S, win, a wins list. Actually, write it down. Get your notebook, write it down, type it up, type it into your phone and keep a log. We are often bogged down by the negative,
Right.
rejections, and they're gonna come. And I bet you, even if you start keeping a list and maybe you have more wins than losses, you're still gonna focus on the losses regardless.
Right.
Focus on the wins list. We started this conversation by I said, know your values. My 3 values are being approachable, genuine, and trustworthy. Those are my 3. What are your 3? Keep a wins list. That rejection may be a redirection. That's not something you haven't heard before. But keep a wins list. That's a practical advice, because I promise your ego will be challenged, absolutely. And rejection does not mean you're unworthy. It just means you're being redirected. And use a framework called ACT, right? So ACT, it's a resilience loop. So you acknowledge your emotion, you connect with a coach or a peer or somebody you trust, and then you try again with refinement. ACT. Acknowledge the emotion. It does suck to get that email, that phone call, that conversation. It sucks. Let's be honest. It sucks.
Yes,
oh my God.
Absolutely.
Ajay, oh my gosh. But then connect with somebody you trust and try it again. You're not alone. Keep a wins list. There's a few there for you.
Such an amazing answer, Frank. Lastly, I have to come to this. I understand there is a time constraint. I come to the last question of this episode, last but not the least. What advice would you like to give to job seekers navigating in a job market right now, which is full of AI, automation, and constant changes?
Can you say that a little differently? I have so much to say about that.
Differently, in the sense job market now has becoming very dynamic due to AI. It's very difficult to assess whether this your job will even be there or not. Automation is at its peak and constant changes, and this is leading to constant changes also. So, what guidance would you like to give? What advice would you like to give to job seekers who are navigating the job market in search of a better job, in search of a better career?
Thank you. That one sounds easier, but just practice on your own and give your own feedback. I think with AI, I was even hesitant to it.
Right.
Choose a platform that you feel comfortable with, even if it's not a familiar one, even if it's not integrated. Try the free ones first and ask it some questions. AI is very, very similar to when we went through this change about 25, almost 30 years ago with Google. You get what you put in with the search. You put in a different word, you get a different search. And that's what AI is about, is the prompts, and it's learning. So try something simple. If you have a LinkedIn, here's a simple one. If you have a LinkedIn, put in your LinkedIn profile link into whatever platform. Say, give me a SWOT analysis to optimize for job seeking, and you'll get some tips. It'll excite you. I promise you the results.
Oh, I see.
Use that towards other things, and I promise you, that'll give you the confidence, I think, to also start to integrate it into the work that you do. So I think that it's a combination of job seeking, but also in the work that you do. And find a friend that will you can learn together. I mean, that's my advice. I got over it by myself. I didn't want any feedback, my friend. I was not ready for it. So I tried on my own. I tried something, and now I can't get enough of it. It
you,
frees up a lot of my
you,
time that I talk about,
you have
and I'm
actually,
allowed to spend more time with people like yourself and others and be able to connect more and not worry about all the tangible things. But you absolutely start somewhere. Yeah.
so, Dr. Frank, although this was the last question, but we have a surprise round which I am starting from this episode, and it's a rapid fire round with Dr. Frank Gonzalez. Very quickly, I come to the first question once again. One word your colleagues would like to describe you.
Say again.
One word your colleagues would like to describe you.
Contagious.
Oh my God! But it is positive, contagious. Leadership.
It's a good contagious. If I had to expand on it, it's because I get very energetic, very enthusiastic, and that can create
I can
contagion.
actually face the feel the vibes right now. Secondly, very quickly, leadership, is it born or is it made?
Oh my gosh, made.
Great. One DEI myth you wish people would stop believing.
Stop?
Believing.
Let's come back to that one.
Okay, I move on to the next question. One thing every professional should stop doing right now,
Listening to others.
and one thing they should start doing right now.
Start with self-awareness.
Great, great. So, Dr. Frank, with this, we come to the end of this episode. I wish we could have continued this discussion for a long time, but then again, I understand the time constraint. It was such a wonderful and a learning experience for me and to the job seekers also. So, viewers, at My Job Factory, we believe that job hunting should not be just more than just simply clicking the apply button. It should be more about finding the right workplace, a workplace that aligns with your personality, a workplace that aligns with your career goals and values. That is why we have built a platform called My Job Factory that basically connects candidate personas with dream workplaces. And Dr. Frank, coming back to you once again, as a thank you, we are offering 3 free job postings to your company, wherein you can showcase your company culture through photos and videos. You can put into practice various employer branding ideas. You can present your employee value proposition along with detailed job descriptions in order to attract top talent and build engaged teams. And those job seekers who are listening this episode, please log on to myjobfactory.com now, wherein you will see that we have turned simple job listings into real workplace stories. The job you might be dreaming for might just be there. And if you are a CEO or an HR leader wanting to share your recruitment philosophy, your company's culture, please get in touch with us. We would be more than happy to feature you on this podcast. So viewers, bye for now. Please take care, stay updated, and subscribe to Let's Hear It From right now.